Yo, what is up, y'all? Dubsmine here. We're back for another Warriors preview video, and we're doing it against the Spurs again. So the second game, and also, yes, I know a lot of this has been a bunch of the preview videos. I will be hopefully making tier list videos soon. It's just that with how fast-paced the games are, obviously, I'm also having to make these videos pretty fast-paced, so I'm already pretty exhausted from making videos a tad bit, but I still want to do a tier list because that's going to be pretty fun. So, yeah. We got a lot of news today, though, so let's get through them all. First, Warriors Stephen Curry ending partnership with Under Armour. One of the more bigger news, obviously not super basketball related, but still obviously related. So standalone endeavor Curry brand will still move forward independently. His shoes will release as planned through Under Armour during this 2026 next year, but he is going to enter sneaker free agency, which means that he can wear shoes that aren't Under Armour, if I'm not mistaken, on the court. Because obviously, since when he was Under Armour, he had to wear those shoes. I don't think he's gonna purposefully make the change to wear non-Under Armour shoes. I mean, he's probably gonna wear his own Curry line shoes, like Curry brand shoes anyways. That's whatever. And if you guys don't know, we've been talking about, Nico Harrison and how he sucked and he got, fired. Well, this is again another Nico Harrison blunder where you see this part here, Curry left Nike. Well, he wasn't really with Nike per se, but he had a presentation done to him by Nico Harrison, who was the Nike spokesperson, in which Nico Harrison fumbled the bag, changing his name from Stephen Curry to Seth Curry on the presentation, and also showing a picture of KD instead of him for some whatever reason, and completely blundered it. And that's the reason why Curry signed with Under Armour in 2013. So again, another Nico Harrison related thing of the biggest what if Steph, signed with Nike, how big would that brand be? And there's been the talk about if he would have been bigger than Jordan brand. And I think it's definitely possible because, Curry brand in itself with Under Armour is already so popular that imagine with Nike and their, popularity and, out there, who knows, But anyways, who cares about that part? Because that's just a random hypothetical, right? Pretty big news, but again, it just seems like Steph's still going to continue his own brand anyways, so his shoes are still going to be coming out. So that's all fine. And then this one's going to be the injury report stuff, so I don't necessarily need to cover this, but I just still feel like it. JK has been ruled out of the game today. There is one reason I do want to cover this separately from the injury report, is because I remember people were seeing the game and it was like, oh my god, JK's playing terrible because of the Spurs game. And it's like, people don't understand that he was still suffering from that knee tendonitis. That's the reason why he was on the injury report when we made that preview video. And he decided to give it a go, and obviously he didn't look that good. But yeah, no wonder why. His knee tendonitis is so bad now that he's going to miss this game. No wonder why it looked bad that previous game. Even for the games before the Spurs game. Who knows how that knee was during those previous games. There's a good chance the reason why he's looked so bad these past few games is because of his knee. Where these knee injuries, I would say, and injuries in general, not all of them just happen that day of when the news gets announced, obviously. Some of them can be ones that linger for a long time. And I feel like the knee stuff probably was something that was bothering him a little bit for the previous two games before the Spurs game, but wasn't something that would potentially, put him out the game, obviously. So that's why he still played. So that's why I just think the hate is kind of too much for JK. I mean, he still got 4 rebounds. He didn't score a point, but only took one shot attempt, which is not in any way really a negative factor per se. And again, people are like, oh my god, the Warriors look so much better without JK, because they won against the Spurs. And sure, that might be true to some extent, but again, it's like, he's just in a bit of a slump, and obviously, Steph was, not scoring the first few minutes of the game, and he was getting good shots, and that coincides with the minutes that JK was playing, because JK was playing a little bit towards the middle portion of the first quarter and the start of the second quarter-ish, I think. which is, I don't think it was, if it was exactly alongside Steph, but again, the rhythm around the whole team wasn't there per se, because also Steph was missing. Because if you see your star player missing, it can sometimes screw up the team's, you know, morale in terms of shooting, because shooting can be a mental thing. So again, I just think the reason why I make a separate video is just because I'm like, yeah, the hate's too much, I feel like. But again, it's definitely unfortunate though that he's out. But I feel like if he, once he comes back and recovers fully from the knee tendonitis, I feel like he might end up playing much better. And then also another similar thing, this one I wouldn't have normally covered unless I did a separate, you know, article. So here we go. Warriors to start, Moses Moody and Will Richard going forward, obviously. So people are going to say like, oh my god, this starting unit sucked because they got outscored by the Spurs by like, I don't know, 10 points or something like that. But if you watch the game, you know, same thing. Steph was not in rhythm at all, and he was not scoring good at all. So like, that's like the only reason why I feel like the Warriors were down big, like with this starting five. I think the starting five is still pretty good. Will Richard and Moses Moody both played excellent games. I mean, okay, Will Richard a bit underwhelming, but still wasn't a terrible game. Moses, obviously, Moody was just going crazy. I think this is a good change. So this is going to be like a semi-permanent starting lineup going forward. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about. Obviously, I think it's pretty solid, so I think it's a good move to do. And yeah, let's get into the ESPN website. So it is a NBA Cup game today, so it's on Prime, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Matchup predictor has now pushed the Warriors up a little bit because probably of that last win. And then let's see about the injuries. So only new person here is Jonathan Kuminga, which we all know he's out. And then Dylan Harper, we all know is out. New one here is Julian Champagnie, who is questionable. So we'll see if he plays. Honestly, I would be like, he is actually a player that would kind of matter if he misses it, because he is a pretty solid three-point shooter. Because like, he was 2 for 3, and some three-pointers can be very big momentum shifters, and I think we just did a good job of not making him shoot a lot. But if our defense sucks for random reasons today, there's a chance if he is on the floor, he can be just absolutely blazing from 3. You know, you never know with bench players especially. And again, he's a 37% three-point shooter, 35% three-point shooter for this season for three-pointers. So I feel like he's actually a pretty solid bench player. So it'll be pretty big if he ends up missing this game, I feel like. Especially since the Spurs three-point shooting, especially from that last game, they aren't that good either. So they aren't that good. So yeah. Honestly, this video is probably gonna have a lot more of the news be the chunk of the video, just because again we're playing the exact same team in the exact same situation again. So yeah, it's a little bit of that baseball series type thing. Let's just go over the box score from the previous game. So obviously Steph played amazing, especially, you know, towards that second half. Jimmy was super Solid. Got to the free throw line a lot. Steph got a hell of free throws. I knew he got a good amount, but I didn't know they got 16. That's a lot. But they were holding on to him like crazy. Draymond played some amazing defense on Victor Wembanyama, one of the keys to the game that I talked about. But shot terribly offensively, so you hope at least that regresses to the mean at least. So instead of being 0 for 7, he's maybe like 3 for 7 from 3. Moses was super awesome. Sparked a huge run, like his own mini run during the first half when stuff wasn't going well. Will again played solid. Brandon struggled shooting from the field, but his plays down the stretch low-key were pretty clutch. Al Horford, hella spark off the bench. It's only 9 points, but those 3 threes, man, they were late too, I think, a good chunk of them. I think 2 of them out of the 3 were like late in the game, and they're big momentum, like, continuators. So yeah. Buddy Hield, okay game, not amazing. Obviously, you need him to score, so yeah, but he does actually a lot of solid things outside of shooting, which is pretty nice to see, so that's that. JP2 was pretty solid, I would feel like. Yeah, played some nice defense, got rebounds, got some nice cuts and everything, so yeah. And JK went out, and then QP didn't play much minutes, mainly due to the fact that Al Horford was playing very well. You know, Victor Wembanyama and Stefan Castle both averaged triple-doubles, but lose, which makes them the first ever duo to ever lose a game when both players have a 20-point triple-double, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, you see the box score, and it's like Victor Wembanyama, 50% from the field, 42% from 3, 31 points and triple-double, and you think he played amazing. And he played pretty damn good, obviously. But when you watch the game, man, Draymond had him in jail, bro. He could not score at all. And the good chunk of these field goals that he ended up making his field goal percentage 50% was from when he played against our bench unit when Draymond wasn't on the floor. This is a prime example of why box score watchers are always not going to be reliable when talking about games and stuff, because, well, for this game, Draymond played the most excellent defense I've ever seen played against Victor Wembanyama, but obviously Victor Wembanyama managed to score a lot more when our bench unit came in. So obviously his box score is going to look good, but still, you wouldn't say it was the best game ever for Victor, obviously. De'Aaron Fox, Moses had him in jail too, low-key. It was kind of locking it down. Donovan Vassell just didn't really score much. He was pretty inefficient, obviously. Harrison Barnes was solid. Luke Cornett solid too. Or no, he was very good, actually, 6 for 6. He got hella lobs from, I remember, he got a lot of lob finishes. And other players I don't have as much impressions, but yeah, I think same formula, obviously. I think getting a better Draymond Green offensive game, obviously, is nice to have. Having, obviously, the free throw advantage, and also getting all the threes you can eat, because this was not a data point that was shown on Basketball Reference, but they are the worst at shooting. The Spurs are the worst at defending opponents' three-point percentages, so ignoring the start of that last game, if we can just continue that good three-point shooting, like carry on that second half three-point shooting into this game to start off, it would be really good. And then obviously playing solid defense against Victor Wembanyama like Draymond did. I do expect De'Aaron Fox to maybe play better, but hopefully Moody can lock him down again. And I think we might be in for another pretty good game, in most likely, honestly, in my opinion, a Warriors win. Especially Al Horford's still playing because there's no back-to-back. And it's a good game for rest too, because again, you aren't moving, you're staying in the same area. Because sometimes you would play the same team in back-to-back games, not necessarily a back-to-back in terms of days. Sometimes there are when it's crazy, but most of the time it isn't. But you would be home for one game and then away for the other one, so you would still have to travel. Versus this one is literally all at San Antonio, so, you know, that's probably the more advantageous for the Warriors with the older roster, because you're getting rest, and versus the Spurs, where rest probably matters, obviously, but still for the younger players, it won't matter as much as it would for, you know, the vets. So I feel I have a good feeling for this game, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose, because typically in these back-to-back baseball series type games, the losing team, you know, adjusts well, has revenge of like the fact that they lost the previous game, and they come right back, and then, you know, punches in the gut. So again, we'll see what happens, but I'm still pretty hopeful. So yeah, be sure to check out the game. It's at 6:30, right? Yeah, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's a Prime Video one, because again, it's NBA Cup. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.